Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is Jiunn Liu. How you doing, June?
Doing well, man.
Getting into the December time frame, Christmas time, cigar of the year time, pumping out some more cigar reviews. So it's always fun.
And editorial time of which we're doing some stuff that's not, social media standard, I would say.
Yep, yep.
So
So look out for that. Today we are talking about the Caldwell Eastern Standard Midnight Express Robusto, and some sites are kind of you have the name of Jockey Club Express Robusto, but some places aren't. So we're just calling it the Robusto. Um, it's a true Robusto, 5 inch by 50 ring gauge. Comes out of the Tabacalera William Ventura factory in the Dominican Republic. Wrapper is an Arapiraca Connecticut shade hybrid. Binder is Dominican Habano, and the filler is Dominican Corojo and Criollo and Nicaraguan Habano. Blended by Robert Caldwell. Cigar price point is $11.20, and the cigar was released in July of 2016. So with the cigar details out of the way, June, what was your pre-light experience like?
um, starting with the wrapper, I thought it was one of the most gorgeous wrappers I've ever seen. It had this like really silky medium brown shade wrapper to it. Good oil content. And then go on to like the actual wrapper look. I thought the veins were well pressed and the seams are pretty tight. That there's a slight pigtail on the cap, and that cap has a really well applied a thick triple cap to it. Nosing the wrapper, I got cedar and a little bit of black pepper. Smelling the foot, I got some pungent black pepper and cedar. And when I did a cold draw, got some sawdust, black pepper, and cedar. So overall, very well presented cigar.
Yeah, wrapper was dark brown. Mine had one medium-sized vein that was present, and then like a patchwork of very fine and smooth veins. Seams were nearly invisible on it. And when I was looking at the caps, I could only really see two, but if you saw three, then that's probably right. Um, Top one finished kind of what we call the man bun. Two bands on it. Main band is kind of the standard Eastern Standard band, although the colors are kind of color reverse. So it's primarily a black band with kind of the gray artwork on it. Um, there's also a white footband on it that reads Midnight Express. I got almost no aroma from the wrapper at all. Foot aroma was like a very light, sweet hay, and the pre-light draw brought some light, sweet hay and a little bit of pepper to it. And there was also a fairly decent spiciness that I was getting on my lips. So getting into flavor for the cigar, what was your experience like?
This is one of those cigars when I first drew on it, I thought, man, this is going to be a tasty experience, or I hope it's going to be like the first few draws.
Right.
So immediately I got really full and distinctive sweet and creamy bread. In addition to these notes, I got construction paper, lightly toasted wood, faint black pepper, and there was like an oiliness coating the entire tongue. And that paired with just some dried nuts really well. As I got into about an inch of it, I started getting some faint ripe stone fruit notes that kind of came in and out of the profile. Through the retro, intensified black pepper, but it was just the right amount. So it was a very welcoming amount of black pepper, sharp cedar, dry nuts. Finish was pretty short. Construction paper, sharp cedar, some medium levels of black pepper on the back palate, strength and body, just solid medium, and strength of body in general for the entire cigar was medium. So moving on kind of the second third of it, it still had that sweet and creamy bread note, and it had a lot of it. And I'm for one that really enjoy this note. So every time I get something like this, I totally geek out on it and I love it. As a matter of fact, I kept drawing on the cigar because it was like crack and I kept wanting to taste that note. Anyways, within the second third, still in addition to that sweet creamy bread, construction paper, lightly toasted wood, faint black pepper, and that oiliness that I talked about that was in the first third. I was able to better ID it in the second third, and I got it, and I pinned it down as more of a like an oily cinnamon zing to it, kind of like when you're eating the what is that candy? Is that like hot something, hot
Hot
rod?
tamales?
hot tamales. Yeah, so it's like that. Through the retro, still the same. Intensified black pepper, sharp cedar, bread, dry nuts. Finish still pretty short with construction paper, sharp cedar, medium black pepper. And I started getting a little hint of a metallic note to it on the second third. Moving on to the last third, still, still a really tasty profile, but unfortunately, I felt like the complexity started to kind of die down, and the cigar started to show some youth. Um, I felt the profile was better melded, um, namely because I didn't get such a wallop of that sweet creamy bread that I got within the first two thirds. Um, but it was more, especially around the dry wood side. Also, in addition to that, still the same amount of slight black pepper, and it kind of went back to the generic oiliness on the tongue as compared to what I did it as that cinnamon oiliness. I started getting a slight harshness and ashiness as well, kind of like the midpoint of the last third. And that made me believe that, the cigar was a little young, especially knowing that I didn't get any of that within the first couple of thirds. So hopefully Tom will help wrinkle that out. On the nose, I got instead of that intensified black pepper, I got more of a tapered down black pepper and cedar dry nuts. And finish, namely construction paper, slightly metallic, and some sharp cedar. But all in all, man, I love that bread note. It was awesome. It's interesting because the actual cigar was so eye catching, and the actual smoking experience was so flavorful that I just really enjoy the whole package in general.
Yeah. Yeah, initial draws for me brought like a nice dose of cinnamon with a woody finish to it, and cinnamon was also on the retrohale. Eighth of an inch in, cinnamon mellowed out quite a bit, and that woodiness moved up front. And the retrohale then kind of transitioned to a mix of the cinnamon and the wood. Half an inch in, cinnamon had left the profile, and the wood transitioned to more of a defined cedar. There was also a little bit of a floral note that joined in. And then an inch in, the cedar is like very mellow, along with that floral note in the background. And that retrohale was also carrying the floral note. That's kind of how the cigar, the third finished for me. And the strength was mild to medium, so it was pretty low. Um, Second, third, cedar transitioned to oak. Tasted a little dirty while that floral note had gone away from it. Retrohale was just oak. Half inch in, dirty oak remained. Became a little drying. At an inch in, that dirty component kind of subsided, and that profile was just a slightly dry oak. The retrohale was primarily oak, a little bit of pepper there. And as the third was coming to a close, there were hints of cinnamon that was present in the previous third that kind of came in there, and the strength got to right at the medium level. Final third, the oak gained quite a bit of char to it. And then at a quarter inch in, that char brought a little bit of a bitter finish. And the retrohale was also charred oak, which was interesting because I don't typically get a char on the retrohale. At an inch in, some of that char starts to fade away, and that pure oak comes up front. And then an inch and a quarter in, a toasty note joined with the oak, and that char had completely gone away. And then as that third finished, that toasty oak remained, and the toasty oak was also on the retrohale, and the strength still was right at that medium level. So getting into performance, burn and draw, what was your experience like?
I had perfect construction. The burn was perfect. I had 2 hours and 30 minutes smoking the Robusto, which is about half an hour or so longer than I typically would get out of a review Robusto.
Mm-hmm.
Burn line razor sharp, sturdy ashes, 1.5 inch sturdy, increments of ash marks. Draw was great. Had just the right amount of resistance to pull all the flavors, so no complaints.
Yeah, burn line for me was razor sharp for the first half of the cigar, and then it got a little bit wavy the rest of the way, but nothing that was crazy. Didn't cause me to do anything with the cigar. The ash was holding for 1.5 inch increments, so that was pretty good on a Robusto. Draw was perfect. Just the right amount of resistance that I prefer, so I can't say anything bad at all about the draw. So overall, what were your thoughts on the cigar?
Um, Going back to that creamy breadiness, I love that note, but unfortunately, I felt like the last third didn't hold up to the first two thirds, And
Hmm.
even within the entirety of the cigar in general, I did wish that I had more spice and a longer finish, especially through the mouth draws. But even with those things, this is you talk about a cigar that everyone kind of gravitate towards, and it's kind of like I guess in the quote unquote flavor wheelhouse. This is it for me. But I was thinking, even because the last third showed his youth, would I still smoke this? Yeah, I would. I would just pitch it after the second third.
Right. Yeah, first third carried a really nice profile with that cinnamon, the cedar, and the floral note, and that's the second and final third settled into more of kind of an average profile of the oak, along with that some char and toasty notes. If that flavor profile from that first third continued on, I think this would have been a great cigar. But like you're saying, maybe it's just a little bit young, just needs a little bit more time to really be able to have those notes kind of go along through the entire cigar. Strength level, I think, is something that most smokers would enjoy. Flavor profile probably fits in most people's wheelhouse. This is another, good Caldwell cigar. I'm definitely going to be smoking this again. Definitely a little more time and just, see if that kind of melds things together a little bit more and you get that kind of more consistent experience the whole way. So getting into scores, you gave it an 8.33. I gave it a 6.87. How do you think your score matched up with your experience?
I think it matched well. I mean, I think combination of very good scores on the first two thirds, combining with just a regular good score on the last third, and especially you pair that with I give it perfect scores for construction.
Mhm.
It makes sense that it got such a high score, right? But love to smoke it again. I mean, basically my barometer is like, would I smoke it again?
Yep,
If I do, how many do I want to smoke it? And my answer to
exactly.
this one is yes and a lot.
Right. Yeah, my score matches up. I mean, I think the first third was pretty fantastic, and then things kind of settled down after that. But I think a little more time on this cigar, and that's gonna, like I said, meld together a little bit more, and that experience kind of will move a little further in, and deeper into the cigar. So, for what I smoked, score matches up well. I'll definitely smoke it again as well. So I think it's a good recommendation based on both of us saying that it's definitely worthwhile smoking again. So, any final thoughts on this cigar?
No, I hear about like Caldwell using this Arabica. How do you say that? How do you say that freaking rapper name?
Right.
Uh,
Araparaca.
yeah. So I'm not pretending like I speak freaking Spanish, but um, it's legit stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I think I want to say that he used this some sort of a hybrid of a wrapper on the last czar as well. Uh, don't quote me on that, but he's used this wrapper before, I think. And I think it's just super tasty. I love the way he blends. And yeah, this kind of got me back into looking at Dominican tobacco again, almost.
Right. Yep. All right. Well, thanks for watching. If you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us there, but also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalettes.com, and follow us on all the social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next video.